Hey everybody, I'm coming with a new reaction for you all, you know what I mean? And this is something I didn't know about. I didn't know that India is sending moon missions, you know what I mean? I never heard of it before. Someone sent me a message through my community tab. If you all, want to see what's going on with the channel and thing, go check out the community chat tab, I see stuff in there, on a regular basis, I put posts up there. But someone came in there and told me, hey, check this out. So this one is a India moon mission. Rocket blasters into space, and it's a BBC News thing. You know what I mean? So we're gonna go ahead on YouTube and simmer, see what the giant could learn or figure out what's going on here with this moon mission by India.
Hello, I'm Lucy Gray. Welcome to the programme. We start with a historic mission to the moon and the launch of India's Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft. This is the moment that it took off just under an hour ago. It entered Earth's orbit shortly after. It's India's second attempt at a lunar landing, and if it's successful, the craft will deploy a rover near the moon's south pole next month, and India will become only the fourth country behind the US, the former Soviet Union, and China to manage a controlled lunar landing. A little earlier, I spoke to astronomer and podcast host Jennifer Millard, who talked us through the...
Check this out. I want to find something out. Somebody answer this for me. What is the fascination with going to the moon? I mean, from what we could tell, there's really nothing up there. From what we could tell, there's not really any benefits that's going to come from that, except for the technological things that come from the actual constructing of stuff, you know what I mean, and the communications and stuff. I know a lot of the things that we have now, like the cell phone technology, satellite stuff, and all of that comes from programs that launch stuff to the moon. But then, why? No, and here's the thing, and I'm going to draw it to this reference here. I have a lot of people, I got into a little talk with my son one time, you know what I mean? And at the time, and still to a certain degree now, I'm thinking, that's billions of dollars. They're going to the moon. There's issues going on down here that a lot of that billions could go towards. And he was like, well, all the technology and all of that, that's going to come from that. And I said, well, if everybody can't enjoy the technology, who they doing it for? You understand what I'm saying? Because if mankind as a whole, like third world countries and stuff, we get to filter down the remnants of it, you know what I mean? And when people go up into space, they don't want to share that stuff. They want to sell that stuff. So it's all for profit, you know what I mean? But my experience, maybe the scientists don't think that, a lot of the workers in there don't think that, but the people who are putting up the money, if they're putting up the money, if it's like some private donors and stuff like that, they're looking for a profit. They're not just doing it for the good of mankind. That stuff, nah. I mean, even Columbus coming to the New World wasn't for the good of mankind, because a lot of the goods that he came, that they were looking for was to suffice the rich, not everybody per se, you know what I mean? Because a lot of the things like drinking coffee or even smoking tobacco, that was rich people stuff back then. So it doesn't help everybody, you know what I mean? And even for jobs, maybe, trickle down here, there, you know what I mean? But there's always some exploitation going on. So the thing is, do I want to go to space? I don't have no desire to go to space. I don't see the point in it. What I would like to see happen is more exploration of the ocean. And I thought before, the next invasion or alien invasion is going to come from the ocean, because we polluting things so bad, something or some being or somebody down there is going to get real mad, including Mother Nature, and go, hey, you messing up, fellas. But it's still cool to see them go to the moon, I guess, and it's still cool to be living in times that man is able to do such things. You understand what I'm saying? Let's keep watching. And this is no knock on India going to the moon or anything like that. It's not. It's just that I feel we should take care of people. And a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that, but I'm a human being first before I'm anything else, I love to see people getting taken care of, period. That's just the way I am.
The launch of the rocket and explain how long it would take before it reaches the moon.
Once it's there, it'll orbit the moon a few times before attempting to deploy the lander and then the rover, which is contained within the lander. So yeah, we've got a little bit to wait. We're expecting it to get to the moon 23rd, 24th of August. That's the rough timeline. And then, yeah, hopefully India will become only the 4th nation to have a successful soft landing on the surface of the moon, which is absolutely incredible if you think about it. It's only the US, Russia, and China that have achieved this. And yeah, India are going for it. They haven't done too much in terms of space exploration, so this is a really ambitious mission, but that's what they tend to do. They were the first Asian nation to reach Mars as well. They've got an orbiter around the moon now that's been operating for over 3 years very successfully as part of Chandrayaan-2. So yeah, expect great things from India. And
Okay. No, that's impressive. That's impressive. The first Asian nation to do it, like she said. Oh, this is impressive. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know they had such an advanced space program there. Or what? They haven't named a name that they call it, but this is quite impressive. India is doing its thing. You understand what I mean? From a place where people colonized it to a certain degree, not completely, but to be doing this, to be competing with the big boys. Hey, that's some impressive stuff there. Of course, they got all kinds of technology and stuff. They're a very technologically advanced country. You know what I mean? Somebody want to have a little computer expert. It's a lot of Indian people. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of cool that they seem to be taking care of business.
Well, they've got an orbiter around the moon now that's been operating for over 3 years very successfully as part of Chandrayaan-2. So yeah, expect great things from India and space in the future. So it was actually the Chandrayaan program that discovered water at the south pole of the moon and concretely discovered water on the moon. That was the first time that has ever been done.
Say what? You see, you don't hear that kind of stuff over here. You understand what I mean? You don't hear them say that here. Did it? They discovered that they were what? Oh, wow. Okay. I'm more impressed now. Quite frankly, I would rather them discover the water than anybody else. I don't know, but yeah, I'd rather them.
That was back in 2008. And then, of course, they're really making amazing progress, spending very little money on these projects. When we look at NASA's...
Say what? They do it with very little money too? Oh, well, you see, I don't have the complaint with them, you know what I'm saying, and the money vibe. It's a lot of money probably, but not with as much money as NASA and those big, okay. I'm all for it, I understand what I'm saying. They're not spending big bucks. All right. They're pulling me over. I still want them to go deep down into the ocean or way down there, you understand what I'm going to say? But this is kind of cool.
The budgets run into hundreds of millions, billions of dollars, whereas the Chandrayaan ones are doing it for $75 million, something like that. We spend more on making movies, and yet India are going to explore.
How are they able to do that so much more cheaply?
So again, it's doing things like taking their time, so using the least amount of fuel possible. That cuts down on the budget. Using smaller craft, so this rover, is not the sort of size of a car that you would expect with the Martian rovers. This one is on its biggest dimension. It's about 1 meter long. And so then that reduces the cost as well, lower mass as well is always cheaper. And it's very, very specific target.
Like they say here, the bigger the better. They got the big SUVs, the big Harley Davidson bikes, the big old cars, India is doing it on a small scale. And I think that's going to be the one that's going to be, more advanced than others. You understand? It's kind of like this. Canada have a big part to play in the space program vibe too, but you don't really hear that. You understand? And this is,
we only expect this rover to be working for 1 lunar day. That's one of the things with the timing of this mission as well, is to get there for the start of a lunar day. So we've got that full 2 weeks to make the most of all of that solar power to charge the batteries. And so it means that India can do these extraordinary missions and extraordinary science on a very, very low budget, and does show that you don't need to spend all of this money necessarily to do amazing exploration in space.
Jennifer Millard there. Well, let's speak now to Prasad Samramanian, who is a professor of at Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm assuming that you watched the launch and are following its progress. What can you tell us? What's your assessment of how things are going?
Things are going very well. Fingers crossed, but I believe we've passed the most crucial stage of the launch. And so as of now, things couldn't be going better.
So just to explain what's happened, there was blast off and then the boosters separated from the rocket, didn't they? Those boosters have now fallen into the ocean, and I understand it has now entered Earth's orbit. And then just if you could just explain what's happening, because it's going to orbit the Earth several times, isn't it, before it does this sort of slingshot movement and tries to get into the lunar orbit.
That's right, exactly. It's a matter of entering the moon's primarily the moon's gravitational pull, and it's a complex maneuver. And to be clear, the rover per se is going to land on the moon only in about 2 weeks, or something like that from now.
23rd or 24th of August, they've said, yeah.
That's right, yes, something like that. So in between now and then, it's a lot of fairly complicated orbital dynamics that's going to happen.
Basically trying to build up speed, though, I understand.
Yes. The slingshot's a very good analogy. You need to get your stone right in the right trajectory. So that's pretty much what it is. But,
and then
easily put.
The easy part, well, the really difficult part, apparently, is landing on the moon. And I know that India tried it once before and it didn't go so well. So talk us through why this is so tricky, what it involves.
To the extent I understand, it's a matter of think of trying to land on your feet while jumping the top of a building. You need to make sure your feet are strong. I wouldn't recommend this to anybody, but if you were trying to do that, you need to make sure your feet don't buckle, and then there's a lot of rebound, and you're not very sure about the composition of the soil where you're landing. So all these things. So that's why it's a combination of mechanics and mostly mechanics.
So Sorry, I was just going to ask if you could explain what the mission is. As I said, the aim is to land on the South Pole. And we don't know a huge amount, do we, about the actual South Pole?
That's right. That's precisely why we're trying to go there. And the mission, the scientific objectives are manifold. Broadly put, lunar geochemistry, and of course, presence of water ice, which is the holy grail.
Yeah, check this out though, because there's so many people that are saying, "Oh, nobody landed on the moon. Oh no, it was fake," and all of that when America landed on the moon. So I wonder if there's going to be people saying, "Oh no, if they would successfully land on the moon and on the pole that they want to, when nobody else has been there, is anybody going to say, oh no, they didn't land on the moon and stuff?" And is this kind of a exploration going to catapult India into another stratosphere as far as how the world sees them? You understand what I mean? And what if they discover something up there that's going to help mankind? You know what I mean? No, I tell you something that's funny, because the same when you have an argument with my son and stuff, or the discussion with my son and several other people, they're like, well, if something happened with Earth, we're gonna go up to the moon. Dude, you ain't going nowhere. You too poor. We will stay here. Rich people going to spend a couple of mil to go up there and survive. You know what I mean? It's going to be like Noah's Ark. They're going to choose a few that they're going to think that's going to be beneficial to the existence of mankind. That's who is going. Ain't no ordinary people up there. Very few ordinary people is going to escape this earth if everything starts going kapoof. For real talk. But it's kind of cool that they're going up there, I think, to explore and see what's going on, as long as they do it with good intentions. Now, good intentions. You understand what I'm saying? Thing. Once the profiteering start, then there's going to be issues, big issues.
And understanding how the lunar surface came to be what it is now, understanding the impact of the solar wind was something that I'm personally interested in, how the solar wind particles impact the moon's atmosphere, or the lack of it, and how they influence the geochemistry of the lunar surface. This is about as much as I broadly understand. Yeah.
Yeah, well, so far so good. So we will see, I suppose, won't we, in the coming weeks. Thank you very much for talking to us, Prasad Subramanian, who is a professor at the Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research. Thank you.
I'm gonna keep an eye on this, because, like I said, we ain't hearing nothing about that where I am at all. I didn't know this was taking place. So I'm gonna definitely keep an eye on this vibe here and see what I go on with it and take. This is interesting. And I know I react to history here, but history in the making, living on a little history here. You know what I mean? This is like living history. You know what I mean? I hope you guys enjoyed watching this with me. I'm gonna leave a link in the description to this video. You understand what I mean? And if you do like this video, click a like on it, share the video, man, you know what I mean? And wow, India's doing its thing. India's doing its thing. You all take care of each other, all right? Cool runnings.